Womp
All
womp.
right.
Few minutes late, but that's okay.
A few minutes late. We're casually. Ain't there such thing as casually late?
Well, nowadays in America, if you're a couple minutes late, it's acceptable, right?
Yeah, casually late. Let's see.
If you're a couple minutes late, it's acceptable, right?
Oh, that's YouTube. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube. We're on YouTube, dude. We are somebody now.
You are somebody, not me. Come on.
All right.
This is your show. I'm just here for the laughs.
Huh?
So this is your show. I'm just here for the laughs.
This ain't my show. This is our show. So the main host has not showed up. He might still be arguing with them fools on Savannah River Chain Gang.
Oh, God.
So how'd y'all what happened with the tournament down there, Pete?
Nothing really happened. It's just, we fished hard. We fished the lower lake. We caught a lot of fish. A lot of boats didn't catch a lot of fish. Yeah, we had a good time. We didn't catch a lot of big fish at all. Got a 10.5 pre-fishing, and that's the biggest we've seen. So, yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of water down there to cover.
Hell yeah. It's like this, so first time on the lake, 2 days of pre-fish. I got to commit to one lake and one lake only, so I committed to a lower lake, being a safer lake overall, seeing the forecast and everything. And so that's where I stayed. Did not want to change my plans for anything. So even though people say, hey, the bite's better up top, I didn't want to stray away from what I had already planned.
That you want to save your transom and
you dang right. Yep. Yes, that's exactly right. If I needed to win a couple grand, whatever, if I need a couple grand, I'd just work an extra day or two. That's it.
I tell you, that years ago, that lake was there again. The history. That was where they first found out that striped bass could live in fresh water.
Uh-huh.
Years ago, after those fish started reproducing up there, there was probably 2-to-1 striper to catfish. So you can imagine what kind of fishery it was. I mean, I watched some videos. And did you ever see a Landlocked, the video I told you about? Did you ever watch it?
No, don't think so.
It literally showed day after day after day, they were taking wheelbarrows full of 25 and 30 pound fish every day. You'd have thought it was saltwater.
Yeah.
At one time, striper dominated those lakes before they put the catfish in there, the Arkansas blue catfish.
Gotcha.
But then, of course, they did it like they did all the other lakes. They just fished the shit out of it. Because there again, those fish were there for years before people even knew about them. I think some crappie fishermen actually seen one, and then a cat fisherman actually caught one and took it to a biologist down there and said, wait a minute. He said, this is a striped bass. What the hell is it doing in this lake? How's it even living? And then they did a few studies and found out those fish had been in there those fish were in there for years before anybody even knew it.
Uh-huh.
So
apparently they're doing very good because, man, I tell you what, them dang fish are strong. I mean, I've caught fish from many lakes, I'm not going to name them all, but man, dang 22-inch fish down there pulls harder than most 26, 27-inchers. Seriously. I mean, they pull hard. Oh, hell yeah. Yep.
Well, the water quality is down there better than the water quality is probably as good down there as any of our lakes. A lot of bait. The water's always moving. They're always pulling water.
Correct. Yeah. And I was actually kind of surprised at how clear the water was. I mean, I expected a dingy lake, like most SC lakes are, but I went there and seen how clear it was. I'm like, damn, it's kind of nice.
Most SC lake, dude, most of our lakes are clear.
Are they?
Go look at Joe Cassie and Kiwi.
Well, I'm used to fishing like Lake Watery and Lake Wiley and
them are
those crap
shitholes.
holes. Exactly.
Yeah, them are shitholes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot of water. I mean, I fished down there for about 10 years ago when I was catfishing before I knew any better. And that's just a lot of water to cover down there. And the striped bass, the numbers have got better since they put a limitation on them. But I'd say in 10 more years, that could be one of the best freshwater striper fisheries in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
If it keeps going the way it's going.
Yeah, I was extremely pleasantly surprised at how good the fishing was there. I mean, yet again, another new lake, didn't know exactly where to go overall. I did talk to a few folks, and I got to give JC a shout out because he kind of hooked me up where to go or where to try. Now, where he told me to go, I didn't catch anything really to amount to much. However, we found fish. Yeah, we'll say about a
Jesse
half
Cochran?
pound. J.C. Crowder.
Crowder, yeah, you should have
Yeah.
knew better.
Yeah.
Hell,
Well,
I could have told you where to went and caught fish.
No, he sent me down there, and it was a good area, but the fish were pretty nearby where he pointed me to. So I'd say within 2 miles of where he sent me to, there were some good fish there, and that's where he fished. So yeah, I mean,
You listen to a
he
man
led
that
me in the
don't
right
even fish
direction.
that lake.
What's that?
You listening to a man that don't even fish that lake.
Well, he said he grew up on that lake, so I got to respect the guy that grew up on that lake.
He grew up on Greenwood.
Yeah.
No, I don't know where JC grew up. He might have grew up down there.
Yeah.
But anyway, tournament fishing, this ain't never been my thing. I can't get into it.
Gotcha.
It's like you're on somebody else's clock, you're on somebody else's time, and some people like that. They like the competition and the money, but
yeah,
I go fishing to relax, not to be upset and uptight, and then worry about losing my money.
Yeah, I know. No, we actually, so this tournament also is a little rundown here. Lines in was at 7 a.m. and we had our 2 big fish in the boat by 7:20. So again, we executed a perfect plan. Everything worked to a T. Pre-fishing worked out and everything. But from there, we weren't able to upgrade much after that. We kept on getting small fish. But the fact that we had 2 fish, we struggled most days. The 2 days we were there, we didn't catch much until like noon, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
But no, in that morning by about 7:30, we had 2 fish, 2, solid 27 inches in the boat, by then. And from there, it was just, we'll say, upgrade from there. It's a pretty good feeling. So the pressure, at least not to embarrass ourselves too bad, was gone. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, have you ever noticed, and I watch all the tournaments, especially if I got a lot of friends fishing them. Everybody caught fish pre-fishing the day before that could have won the tournament.
Yeah.
What few tournaments I have fished, I've never pre-fished. I don't put a hook in the water. I always thought that was a jinx to me. I thought it was bad luck.
And that's one of the reasons why this tournament here, I kind of refuse to talk to anyone because you know how tournament chatter is. Oh, I went yesterday and nailed a 14-pounder, this and that, So I tuned all that shit out. Didn't talk to no one until the weigh-in.
Yeah. Where's Lee? Is Lee coming on with us tonight?
He's got a text message. Hang tight. I sent him an invite. He said he'll be on at some point. And by the way, I got a message from JR saying that he won't make it on tonight. So,
okay.
So no JR.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Well, tell him I appreciate him messaging me too.
Yeah. I'll let him know.
Poor Junior.
Yeah.
He's probably up. Look on the Savannah River chat again. I guarantee you they still arguing.
I'll look later on. So let's see. We only got 1 comment. Anyone else on board? How many viewers you see?
9 now. I think we had 12. I see 9 now.
Gotcha.
JR ain't on here, so a lot of people ain't gonna watch. They just like to watch him and watch us.
I think that more people will watch if JR's not here. I don't know. We'll wait till Lee gets on here real quick, and from there we'll chat a little bit about Lake Norman and an upcoming event.
Tell me now. I want to know.
It won't matter to you. You don't fish for 3-pound fish.
Oh.
Maybe 4 if you're lucky. 5 if you're damn good.
There's the Stripe Father.
6 once in a lifetime.
Hey, we got the Stripe Father on here. What's up, Michael Walker? Michael Walker is a legend in striper fishing.
There he is.
Evening, fellas.
What's up? Well, what you been up to today?
I talked to a couple people on the phone. Took the kids trout fishing.
Did you catch any, by the way?
Yeah.
It's easy, right? Too easy.
So, yeah.
I
mean, it's good for kids.
Only like little 9-10 inches mostly.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for kids and stuff. But like, there was some people there that like to take advantage of fisheries regardless. And they were like chumming the water really heavy on a pond, and it just made it like unfair and like ridiculous. So we left that pond and went to one right there across the bump and started catching fish.
Gotcha.
I mean, they were taking cans of corn and like pouring them in front of them. And I mean, it honestly looked like bait flipping on top of the water. I mean, there's just fish sitting there just feeding, and they're just taking a hook going, doop, doop. I mean, it's like the stuff you see on TV. I mean, on like the internet and stuff. And I was
all
like,
that for a trout, right?
Yeah, for a trout.
Yeah.
And you can guess that they had a 5-gallon bucket, and I'm sure they kept 7 apiece.
But they had a little son there, and the daughter over there running around the woods, and the mama, and yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Go
So
up the river
I
right
actually
by the toilet in the spring, and they'll be sitting on the left in a Ranger under the power lines with muscles.
That's right. So I actually about burnt down my fucking shed in the backyard, burning leaves. It was hilarious, but
I thought you wasn't doing that till tomorrow.
well, I woke up after my little 40-minute nap. I'm like, you know what? Let's just get a head start, So I did it.
I messed your nap up, didn't I?
I started you did actually. No, I'm just kidding. I started a fire, turned my back on it. Next thing I know, the damn thing was about out of control. So
Well, thanks for keeping me a job. I appreciate
it. Y'all never showed up. You didn't need to because there's no call made. But I actually did.
Wes, how are you, buddy?
I did actually have someone up the road stop and walk down my driveway, ask if everything's all right. Neighbors popped out, everything. I'm like, it's under control. Yet raging fire in the backyard. Yeah.
Wes, how you, buddy?
Yeah.
All right, let me show you. This is the last dropper I caught at Santee, Pete.
Bullshit. Hey, had I not known better, you'd probably fool me knowing the damn background. You can't see no land back there, but
And then I caught this one 2 days later at Santee.
Damn.
Oh, hell.
Why didn't you fish the tournament?
Damn, it's too bad them fish look the same. Look at the markings. No, I'm just kidding.
No, those fish are totally different, brother.
That's some saltwater
TJ,
girls.
how you doing, buddy? Hope you're feeling better.
Yep.
And
So wintertime fishing, it's about that time. I want to see it get colder and colder and colder and colder out there.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to see the comments, and I either have to click. If I click on comments, like y'all go away. How does that work?
Are you on a cell phone?
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't do both.
Nah, I don't think so. No.
I'm trying to
All right,
find it.
Wes, quit playing around.
Well, I'm trying to find something, but I can't find it.
Quit hitting
Wes.
the buttons.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
How you been?
I figured out all that money. I've used my boat twice this year, and at almost 12 months, at $400 a month, that's a lot of money. So
Welcome to my world as far as keeping a boat down where it's at right now. I mean, it's not that expensive, but still.
It's
I was
still
thinking
convenient.
about. I was going. Saturday looks good
Yeah.
right now. Saturdays. I was thinking about going offshore Saturday, but we got a family get together. I meant Saturday. So I may go, I may not, but I'm bringing the boat home. So I went and bought a new truck yesterday.
I seen that. That's a good looking truck.
It is. I like it. That's a nice truck. I got to get used to setting up so high though. It just feels like you're just like.
It does.
It's just.
And
totally
the hood feels like it's like huge and you can't see over it.
Yeah. Well, now the way the seating is, I can raise the seat up in mine pretty high, but if I raise the seat up too high, the rear view mirror won't adjust enough for me to see out the back. So
I had a Power Stroke, then I had a 2500 gas, and I know you was talking on Facebook the other day, and people were talking to you about it or whatever, but there ain't no way I'd buy another diesel.
no, they can have it.
A gas truck will pull what we need to pull just as good. Yes, your fuel mileage ain't as good, but your maintenance is a hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
I'll never buy another diesel.
Well, the specs on that truck is for towing and hauling.
Let's talk fishing. Let's talk fishing, not trucks.
Hey, man, now you interrupting grown people, little man. For towing and hauling, the new 2024 Silverado 25 HD reaches a new weight of moving heights at a maximum of 25,200 pounds off the bumper and 36,000 pounds gooseneck.
What else do you need?
I don't have nothing that weighs even close to that.
Right, that's my point. What else do you need? And how often do you pull something like that?
Yep.
Well, I might
so
be
back to
pulling my
Pete's
boat a
thing.
little bit more, but
Let's talk about fishing. Pete, I hear we got a big announcement coming.
Yeah, what is it, Lee? What you know about it?
I don't know what I'm supposed to know.
Yeah, it's like Santee. You saw pictures before anyone else saw pictures. Like, damn,
I couldn't help that. I couldn't help that.
How many Lake Norman people do we have watching right now? I see David Mercer.
I'm showing 16
TJ.
viewers.
That's 6 months. That's a lot more viewers than we're used to, man. What is this?
Yeah.
JR's not here.
Yeah.
How many is it? How many is it?
I'm showing 18. David Mercer, I'm gonna send you an invite right quick. Go
Sure.
ahead, Pete.
Yes, please. Let's get Mercer on here real quick,
Yep.
and then we'll talk
He's
right
a
away.
tournament-
You know,
he's
that's
a
if he's
tournament
able
winner.
to. You know, he might be watching. He might not be able to. We'll see what he's got to say. But yeah, no. So a little interesting events coming up in the Lake Norman area. You
Change
know.
of events, so to speak.
Yeah. Change.
Invite sent. David Mercer, check your messenger. All right, go ahead, fellas. I'm sorry.
I'll wait
No,
for
you're
Mercer to
good.
hop on here, but yeah. So every year we always look forward to the big Lake Norman tournament. You know, it's a big tournament for 5-pound fish. You know, but regardless, we all have fun. We discussed a date to host this event, and it's typically in the wintertime, always, right? January, February. This year, no different. But we considered a couple weekends. But the biggest thing is we have to honor the SBC. Okay. We normally like having our tournament on February, the first Saturday in February, meaning, well, you know, it's just that first weekend of February.
Man, just tell us. Get with it.
But this year, the SBC is hosting the Lake Murray Flurry February 3rd. So we had to change our date. And our big Lake Norman tournament is going to happen February the 10th. It's official. It's all been booked.
100% official.
It's official. All right. So February 10th is the date. Circle it on the calendars. More details to come with all that. The rules and everything should be the same. I don't foresee any difference with anything whatsoever. And again,
there may be a difference on the total number of fish.
I think we're going to roll 4, I believe, for this. Okay, now so this is the intro to things. All right. Again, keep in mind this is Trevor's baby. You know, so I'm speaking for Trevor. He's a busy guy right now, and he's appointed a couple of us to help him out this year, do several things here and there, whether it's sponsors, weigh-in, prizes, the whole works. You know, so I'm speaking on his behalf. February 10th. Is a date. All right. Now, to add more to it, now we're under discussion, and I think we have concluded that it will happen. For those Lake Norman OGs that remember the Lake Norman Striper Swiper series, we are going to bring that back this year. Okay. Meaning hybrid only, of course. So we're going to have a monthly tournament starting September, possibly October. We'll see how things lay out.
Kind of depends on the weather, water temperature.
Yeah.
We're trying to take care of the fish.
Yeah, it depends on how things progress, but we're aiming for a monthly tournament starting September and concluding with a championship in January. Okay, it's going to be a once-a-month event. All the details still going to be worked out, but like we're talking about 4 months. Let's say you must fish or pay for at least 3 to qualify for a championship. I believe we're looking
3
at
of the 5.
3 of the 5. That's correct. And then I do believe that we may, and again, all this is not yet official here, but we may change the amount of fish brought into the scales from 4 to 3, most likely for that. So yeah, that's in the works. I do believe we will go with that, and yeah,
So
I
can't really see what's going on in the comments because I'm on a phone.
There are no comments at all.
I also mentioned the fact that it's not run by one person now. There's one person over it, but we have several people involved now as committee members, whatever you want to call us. But it's not run by one person. We have different people from different groups, as we'll call it, on Lake Norman, that are all putting in opinions. So to
Correct.
speak.
And we picked out people of difference of opinions overall. You know, we got Lee, me, who've been around for a while, and several others. I don't know if the others want to be a part. KT, okay? KT's going to be a part for sure. He is like the Lake Norman OG, basically. Very neutral guy. So we're making sure we're picking people from all over spectrums to we don't want to say help run, but help monitor everything. That might be a better word for it.
Chuck Feather places the 4th.
Yes.
David Mercer, I thought you were Benji Smith when you first got on here.
My white beard, probably.
Yeah.
Hey, mine's on its way.
Mine's 2 days old. I'll be that in a couple days,
Spring's blaring. There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like Pete said, so the tournament will happen. It'll be February the 10th. Instead of Trevor's still over the whole tournament, as he said,
That's
but
correct.
we've added some more people, which is Pete, myself, KT, and Chuck Featherplace, just to kind of get a whole broad spectrum instead of one person making a decision. Now we kind of vote on things. Like we went back and forth how long today, Pete, with the date?
Yeah, we went back and forth like an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make it to where we have a lot of different people's opinions because we all kind of draw from a different place.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, we can all kind of bring this from here, and bring it to one.
Correct. Now, let me add also.
February the 10th sucks ass. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
All right. Well, you suck ass. But anyways,
I already said
yeah.
that. I said you couldn't pick the more dead set winner that North Carolina has, but it is what it is.
Every year is different now. So I did say that that will be a tough time frame overall, but I mean, Lake Norman is built around toughness, right?
That's about when it was last year, isn't it?
There was some of us will figure out something, catch a few fish, whatever have you. But in reality, is this: the SBC was happening February 3rd, and several of our Purnell members are deep into the SBC. I'm not going to say I'm deep into it, but I probably will fish that tournament as well.
I probably will too.
The Hobbs brothers, in particular, they are big time donors, sponsors, and big time fishermen in Lake Norman. And it's kind of important to have them involved as well with this. And,
especially with their dad's history.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. So them boys right there, just alone getting their input and them saying, nah, man, I really appreciate you guys changing the date, which I talked to them today. That's kind of led to the reason why we're pushing it to the middle of February.
Well, I got a question. What is so appealing about catching a 3-pound or 2-pound fish? I don't get it. I mean,
because that's what we got. That's
that's
why.
Yeah,
it's what you got.
It's more about the camaraderie and
okay.
I mean, it really ain't about the fish. I mean, that part. I mean, it's about the competition and about getting together with all these guys. I mean, we know from around here because there ain't no great places around here. I mean, you got to go 2 hours in any direction just about to find anything decent.
Yeah. You got to go to South Carolina. I mean, that is what it is. South Carolina does it better than North Carolina. Me and Pete had a whole conversation on Facebook with other people about this earlier today. South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, they all do it better. We have to do what we can do with what we have.
Yep.
But in saltwater, y'all rule.
I wouldn't go that far and say that.
Saltwater.
I wouldn't go that far and say that.
Man, the Outer Banks up there, how close y'all are to the Gulf Stream. Y'all going out. You can go off North Carolina out of Outer Banks 10 miles and catch 400 and 500, 600-pound bluefin. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all rule in saltwater, buddy.
Yeah, but we're also the only state that has a flounder season. I can go to Merle's Inlet and catch flounder all day long, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
If I go to a North Carolina coast, I got 15 days, 30 days, whatever they decide it to be, and I can keep one fish. It's got to be like 20 inches now.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do with one fish?
Right. Why do you think I don't go no more? I mean, man, I used to
a lot of folks come out
book. I honestly used to book a family vacation every year, second week of June, whenever the kids got out of school. We went to Outer Banks, and I would go take my I've took my Sea Arc, I've took a lunch, I've took every boat I've had, and drifted the channel between Ocracoke and Hatteras, between ramp 55 and 65, and caught as many flounder as anybody on this channel probably has. And they cut every bit of that out. And I ain't been back to the Outer Banks since then, because that was part of me going, was like, yeah, my kids, family, all that went on vacation, but I could also go catch a limit of flounder about every day.
Yeah.
in a couple hours, and I ain't been at Outer Banks in 3-4 years.
Yep.
I'd rather go to Merle's Inlet.
There was a guy last year. It was earlier. No, yeah, last year. We were coming back in, and I heard him on the radio. I was just getting into the inlet, and that guy said he got caught with a flounder, and he said it was an eighth of an inch too short, and they fined him $200.
I believe it.
And I said, "Well, did they let you keep it?" He said, "Yeah, this is fixing to be the most expensive fucking fish sandwich I've ever eaten in my life."
It's a good one though. You can't beat a fresh flounder sandwich.
Yeah. So, David, what's been going on with you? Word was you were selling.
Man, I've been working my butt off.
So you're not giving up fishing? You're not selling your boat?
No, I mean, I've got it listed right now, but I don't plan on selling it.
Had you hits on it?
A few, nothing substantial going into the winter, which was kind of my plan.
Are you trying to get another boat or?
Well, I don't know yet. Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna be with that one for long. I mean, if that's what you're thinking.
Downgrade a little bit.
Like I seen your boat up for sale the other day, and I was like,
Yeah,
I never seen that coming, and I didn't know if you was looking for something different for your needs or something bigger. Or...
I'm not going to sell it right now. I mean, I was just kind of putting it out there and just seeing what kind of interest I'd get on it and stuff, you know.
Bro, I get that. Everything's for sale. The price.
Oh yeah, it's for sale.
Yeah.
I mean, you get gauging the world in general and what's going on. I mean, you just always kind of know what you could liquidate immediately if you had to,
Yeah, I get that. It's kind of like selling your house right now. I mean, the selling market's great, but you got to buy
exactly. But that's the problem. I can't replace it no time soon for what
Dude,
I
listen,
sell.
the housing market in Greenville, South Carolina right now is totally off the chain. My house went up. The value of my house went up since COVID over $83,000.
That's my point. But if you sell it for that, you still got to replace it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking is if I were to sell it, I have to be okay with doing without a boat for a year or two until the market crashes, which I think it's going to. That's kind of what I'm toying with banking on. You know what I mean? I'm toying with cashing out now while I've got great equity in it and rebuying something in a year or two after the world's blowed itself up.
I actually bought a boat today.
Did you?
Yeah.
What'd you buy?
17-foot Polar Craft. No motor, no nothing. I'm going to put a jet on it.
There you go.
Oh,
I got enough friends, man. I know I can get by without a boat for a year or two, but I don't. You want me
to tell you what I'm going to do?
What you going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to put a jet on it. I'm going to push to the very top of road hills where that overhead dam is.
I want in on the first trip. Let me know, and I'll get out and push if I got to.
That's what I'm going to do. I want to catch a 30-pound fish on the Catawba River.
You absolutely
and that's the only way I can do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it one day.
Oh, I got the boat sitting in the backyard. I ain't bought it yet.
I got the bait right down the road right here. I can bring up there. Just got to figure out how to load it there.
Put an outboard jet drive on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a tiller steel outboard jet drive.
Yep.
Just take a trip to the Chesapeake Bay and catch all the 45, 50-pound fish you want.
And that's cool. I get that. But my thing is I want to catch a true 30 in the Catawba River chain. Because when you do that, you've done something.
Do y'all are they fish that big in there?
There are some
rollers. Absolutely. Yeah. You just can't get to them unless you have a jet drive. I mean, you got to watch you got to watch when they release the water from the one above road is. But I mean,
that is James.
Yeah. So you got to watch the water release. If they're not running two wheels, even with a jet, you can't make it through the shoal to get to the low head down.
I can only go just barely past the double ridges in my boat. That's as far as I can go.
I've been up to James way further than I should have been. And that was in my Sea Arc. I wouldn't take my Lund up there. It drafts too deep.
You know, there is another lake in our area that we can have a pretty good chance of catching the 30. It doesn't get fished very hard, but I can't advertise it. I can't advertise it on this channel.
When I get that boat running like I want it to, I promise you I will go under the 85 bridge.
Uh-huh.
Is there any striper in Gaston?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach catches lots of fish on Gaston.
I mean,
Yeah,
any
That
size.
Royce. I mean,
Yeah.
they're decent.
They spit out some good fish.
Yeah, there's walleye in Gaston.
Yep.
Why didn't
Roanoke
North Carolina-
Rapids,
Why couldn't y'all
Fish
ever have
fish.
get any big fish up there in y'all's water?
because North Carolina don't give a damn about the fishery.
Oh, really?
100%. It's all of our water is owned by Duke Power, and all they care about is making money.
Yep.
I mean, that is what it is.
The other thing is they are stocking the striper way too small to where they're getting devoured by everything the moment they let them out from the trucks at the ramps as well.
Yep. So just like Pete just said, the spotted bass on Lake Norman, the North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission has opened up spotted bass 110% on Norman and Mountain Island. I know of for sure because they're like a coyote of the water. When you put a damn striper or a hybrid in the water that's that big, them spotted bass eat everything that come by them. That's why North Carolina opened up that spotted bass. There's no size limit or creel limit on spotted bass. I'm a guide on Norman. Everybody knows that. Pete's a guide on Norman. And I've put 50 spotted bass in a cooler in an hour and a half to 2 hours fishing live bait. And you can't catch enough of them. The spotted bass have everybody blamed it on a white perch for a long time.
I was gonna say a white perch is just as bad.
The spotted bass are worse. The white perch, I'll give you that. The white perch eat the eggs. They eat the fry.
They can't get as big and do the damage that a spot bass can do.
Correct.
They just got the same mentality.
The spotted bass eat everything that swims by. I've caught spotted bass on anything you can imagine, from a crappie jig to cut bait.
When we're down Santee, when I'm catching bait, you know how I catch white perch? And you may have heard of this before. I'll put a couple worms on a sabiki rig, and when I get 3 or 4 fish, I scale him. I'll take the perch and scale it and cut little bitty chunks of the meat out, and they'll hit it quicker than they will a worm.
Yep.
Sometimes you can catch bait. You can catch enough bait with a couple of pieces of white perch. They're eating their own meat.
You can catch one white perch and catch all the bait you want on a sabiki.
Yeah, that's a fact.
A perch will eat a perch all day long. I'm telling you, them spotted bass are worse. They will eat anything from a damn night crawler to the biggest bait that chokes them to death, and me and Pete see them floating down the lake with a gizzard shad in their throat.
Is they're the most aggressive fish y'all got in Norman right now?
Absolutely.
Well, I know about 3 or 4 years ago there again, I quit fishing Hartwell a couple of years ago, but I know striper fishing had got so bad. Trying to think of his name. We had him on here. I sold him a bait tank about 5 years ago. And what's that cat's name I had on here, Pete? He moved out of Charleston.
Rusty
Griffin. Yeah, Rusty was taking guide trips up on Kiwi. He said, Wes, he said, I can go up there and catch all the spotted, but he said, customers are happy. They want to catch fish. He said, I can go up there and get on a point and catch spotted bass. And even after we catch our limit, I just stay out there and let them catch them until they're tired of catching them.
I've had this same conversation with Pete and David. I used to hate spotted bass because when I was pulling planer boards and stuff in the river, they were too small to take the hook. They just kill my bait. But now I don't hate spotted bass because I've had them save trips.
Absolutely, yep.
You can go anywhere on Lake Norman that there's rocks and catch spotted bass, especially if you're a live bait fisherman.
I mean, we all have our little spots in the wintertime where, if things are slow, we know we can pull up there real quick and, catch a couple maybe hybrids, but the spotted bass will eat you alive to save the
every
trip.
time.
Yep.
Every time.
So are they as a spotted bass, JR loves to use this word. Are they an apex predator?
I wouldn't say so, no.
No, they're just a carnivore. They eat anything that comes by them.
They're
I'm telling you,
the
man,
truth.
I've caught
Hey,
them on
Wes.
cut bait catfishing, like pulling
Yes.
catfish rigs like a Santee rig.
Yeah.
I have caught spotted bass pulling a Santee rig on Lake Norman on a piece of cut gizzard shad.
Damn.
Wes, best way of saying it is they're like a little damn chihuahua. Freaking aggressive, mean as hell, but yet ain't got shit.
My little boy calls them piranhas.
Uh,
Dang.
who's got a TV cranked up loud?
Pete, you
I don't know, but
Probably
David's got his
mine.
sunglasses on.
What's that?
Pete,
David's got his sunglasses on.
Man, it's my freaking reading glasses, man. I'm getting old.
he looks just like Benji Smith.
Getting old there.
They reflect hard on your screen. They look like sunglasses.
They got that blue coating on them or whatever.
I got you. You gonna fish the tournament with us?
Probably so.
What's your opinions on it? So I guess I know you and Pete seen the post I made today, and now that everybody knows that me and Pete are a part of the tournament series, part of the tournament gig, while me and Pete were talking, I was kind of wondering like what strays people away from tournament fishing. And I got a ton of very good answers on that.
Don't
But what's your
use weather.
opinion?
Don't use weather because we know it's always a determining factor of a lot of folks overall.
It never fails. It doesn't matter if you fish a tournament on Watery, Wiley, Norman, Murray. You can plan this tournament 6 months away, and the weather's going to suck the day of the tournament. I mean, that's just is what it is. But David? What's your opinion on why people don't fish tournaments?
I really don't know because I guess, I mean, I haven't fished that many tournaments, but the ones I have, I've really enjoyed, so, and it ain't really about whether you go down there and win or not. I mean, you obviously want to win and you want to finish in the money if you can, but it's really not about that. It's a totally different experience than just going and fun fishing. You know what I mean?
And I guess that was
And I've always been around. I mean, I've raised around racing and everything. So competition is fun to me. I love it. I eat, sleep, and drink it.
Right.
I'm going to
so that
try
was kind of my
everybody
point
around.
of that whole. Yeah, that was my point of that whole post is everybody's scared of fishing a tournament because they think they're gonna suck that day.
That's probably what keeps. I guess that to answer your question, I would think people thinking they don't have a chance might be the only thing that.
And it was kind of the general synopsis I got off of it. But my whole thing is, just like you said, the camaraderie. And, I mean, how many times do me and you and Pete and Chuck and TJ and Bill and all of them fish together? We don't. That's the only time we hang out.
That's what I look forward to. We need to more. We need to do some boys trips or something, but, that's probably something that the like the big striper tournaments, how that's probably one of the reasons they draw so many people. Everybody enjoys that captain's dinner and everything and the whole hanging out and everything.
The camaraderie.
The night before, basically,
So I know you got on here a little bit after we started this whole thing, but help me if I'm wrong, Pete, but there's more people involved now. There's a different aspect of what we're looking at. Me and Pete are on the board committee, whatever you want to call it, and we're pushing hard to have another tournament September, October, November, December, and run one the whole time just to do exactly what you're saying, just to bring us all together, kind of do that. We're looking at doing the whole 401c thing. And, like I made a comment today about supporting a family for Christmas. Pick one of them families off the angel tree, and the tournament we run in November, they get that. So, me and Pete talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been on the phone a ton, and we want to make this bigger, but my whole post today was to see how I could get more people involved.
One thing I got to mention here real quick as well is, I'm sure those that are into tournament fishing, that have tournament fish, that keep an eye out for tournaments, striper in particular, they have realized or they have noticed a downtick in tournaments in our area significantly because no one wants to host tournaments at all. So this is also another way of perhaps adding something to our area for us to look forward to.
Right. So I actually talked to Dieter today.
Oh,
Not a bad thing. I was just talking to him. I was kind of telling him kind of what was going on and what we had talked about doing. And Dieter gave me, I don't know if it's an idea or just like a realization that me and Pete and a couple other dudes are trying to do what Norman used to have with the Lake Norman striper swipers.
Exactly.
We're trying to bring it back to like a community fishing, a bunch of families, a bunch of friends. We're trying to make it bigger.
Youth, juveniles.
And that's kind of why we're trying to look at the 401c thing is, yes, we want to run a tournament from September to January. But every one of those months, with us being a 401c, we can pick this group. Say we want to give to the autism group in October. That's big with me because my stepson is autistic. So maybe October, we make a donation to an autism group somewhere in North Carolina. November's tournament rolls around and we decide that the Lake Norman stripers, swipers, whatever it used to be, we turn that into finding a family that is in need for Christmas. Like me and Pete talked about the angel tree kind of thing. We pick up a family and part of the money goes to them. We're trying to make this thing grow.
Here's a thought, and y'all already may have thought of this, but first of all, I would say advertise the shit out of it. Push it everywhere you can on every platform, but maybe get on the phone with somebody like Shakespeare, Minn Kota, Lawrence.
Well, we got access to some of these guys for sure.
And get some sponsors. I mean, and there again, talk about a captain's dinner. And a lot of people go to those captain's dinners just like the SBC. When you start buying them tickets, getting all that money, you'd have a lot more money to donate if you could get more sponsors to donate more prizes, sell tickets, raffle.
I know you're not the biggest fan of Caleb Page, but right now they're in 100. Catch the Fever's in 100%.
Yeah, I mean, just stuff like that. That would be awesome, to help the tournament.
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying. I mean, you got to promote it. You got to get it outside of Lake Norman fishing or Lake Norman hivers. We got to push it bigger. And like Pete said earlier, that's the reason we pushed off. Me and Pete had agreed a week ago that we wanted to do it February the 3rd. Another guy that's in all this with us said, no, we can't do that because that's when they're doing the SBC.
Someone's TV is loud as hell.
Well, here's the deal. At the end of the day, the more money you have for prize, for first, second, however, whatever places y'all want to do, at the end of the day, the bigger the prize, the more people you're going to have enter. I mean, look at the SBC. Why you think they have so many people enter that tournament? There's a lot of money in it. And at the end of the day, people's fishing tournaments, I know y'all talking about doing it for the camaraderie and stuff, but
it's not really about the prize money. It's not. So look at it this way. All right. So Lake Norman is near Charlotte, and just look at the millions of people that live near Charlotte versus your neck of the woods. I mean, we have a lot of people that are drawn in just in the city limits of Lake Norman for the most part. So it's not about the dollar value being a $5,000 guarantee. Let's put it this way. The more money involved, the more problems involved. We know that already. We've learned that in the past already.
Well, how do you think you're going to grow, though, and get hundreds of people to fish a tournament with a $2,000 payout?
It's not about getting hundreds of people to show up. It's about getting, your 30, 40, 50 people showing up.
No, I thought you said y'all wanted to make it big as you could.
We do want to make as big as we could, but controllable overall. Okay, so when you get more money involved, you get a lot more damn problems involved. So we got to.
So then you really don't want to get too big. You just want to get.
But we want to, raise money to donate to what Lee mentioned.
So Pete was a cop. I'm a fireman.
I know. I always said I'd loved his ass to pull. Somebody like Pete pull up my yard to try to arrest me. I'd have never went to jail, brother.
So Pete was a cop. I'm a fireman. We're all in this for the same thing, the camaraderie and stuff. So as we've talked about it more, yes, the bigger the prize, the bigger the payout, the bigger this and that. But I've been talking to a guy today. Never met the guy before. I've been talking to him a bunch on Facebook Messenger. And he was like, man, I loved your post on Facebook, but I wanted to message you. I was like, all right, cool. I said, so why don't you fish tournaments? He says, because I'm intimidated by all the big people that fish it. So I feel like if you get to that $200 buy-in, $250 buy-in, you turn a lot of people away that would love to fish.
Yep.
I would love to keep it at $100, $150, because the average Joe can, $100, hell, we all spend that to go to the lake tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right.
So I would love to leave it at that and be able to give something back. Give something to, again, obviously autism is a big thing with me and my stepkid.
Well, yeah, but that's like I was saying.
Battered women's shelters. We could do a lot with this.
There's several ways we can go about this. You got your general entry fee. Okay.
I'd rather have 100 people fishing a $100 tournament than 20 people fishing a $250 tournament.
I agree, 100%.
Well,
now,
that's why I said, you could go like, I'd start with Lawrence, Minn Kota, Shakespeare, even Bass Pro Shops. Tell them what y'all want to do and what you want to do with the money for charities. And I'm pretty sure most of them would probably donate prizes, just like the SBC does. And, you buy so many tickets, so much money. One year they did it for food, and I fucked up and went and bought 10,000 pounds worth of food. And then when I traded the food in for tickets, hell, I could have got 10 times the tickets because they changed it that year and I didn't pay attention to it. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, if you get some prizes like a depth finder, trolling motor, and people want to win stuff like, they'll spend money to take a chance on winning stuff like that.
Right.
And then you can take that money and donate it and say, hey, just like they give that money to the Anderson Food Bank or whatever.
Right.
Y'all could give it to charities of y'all's choosing up there. And that's a lot of money.
That's kind of where me and Pete are both in agreement on this is like, if you win it and you win $2,000, great. But it costs you $100 to get in. If you win a damn Minn Kota trolling motor, you done better. Exactly. If you win a depth finder, you made money.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. We're in the learning stages. I've never run a tournament. Pete's never run a tournament.
Well,
we've already spent 8 hours on the phone together trying to figure this out, and we just announced the date.
If y'all put me up, if y'all have a captain's meeting and you put my name up on something that's a sponsor, I'll donate a little money for y'all.
We appreciate that.
I got you. How you like that little fella?
We'll absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Pete's my little buddy. Look at him.
All right, old man. Not too bad for an old man. But so Jason mentioned other lakes, but no, this is particular to Lake Norman.
I'm going to smoke, boys.
All right.
This will be a Lake Norman series from September to January.
Yeah. It's got to stay in Lake Norman. No other lakes involved with this one. So there's other tournaments that talks about elsewhere, Baden, High Rock possibly, but
and we could do like a buy-in sometime in April or somewhere or something like that. But right now our focus is Lake Norman and the people that surround Lake Norman.
Yeah. So as far as entry fees, you kind of beat on this a little bit here. The more money, more problems. We learned that a couple years ago pretty quickly. We won't get into details about that at all. But one thing that we already agreed on was the original $100 buy-in. Okay. Of course, it's got to be a big fish, which dollar amount is yet to be determined, I guess, maybe. And the year where things went astray, we had a side pot of a winner-take-all high roller pot, I guess. That could be a possibility as well at some point. But again, that's all up to every person to decide on, I guess.
So, like I told Pete, when we're all fishing this hybrid tournament on Norman, we all catch spotted bass. So I'm kind of looking away from the maybe high roller tournament, but let's have a side pot for the biggest spotted bass, winner
True.
take all.
Yeah. Or a
And
cat.
I think that'll attract people because I mean if that spotted bass side pot, so to speak, has $200 in it, and you don't catch a single hybrid, but you catch a 4.5 pound spot and weigh it,
Yeah,
you didn't lose nothing.
that's right. Yep. Good point.
And
Yep.
Lake Norman's full of spotted bass, so that would be easy to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
David, what's all your input on all this?
I like it. I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, we always wish there was more than just one a year, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
that honestly is what me and Peter probably the two biggest adversaries on this whole thing about it. But I'm sorry, I gotta pee. But
Don't take the phone with you, please.
I'm not gonna set it down. But me and Peter, two of the biggest adversaries on trying to make more options available. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Here's the other thing also about monthly tournaments is, in September, Lee is going to benefit more versus someone like myself that trolls versus December, January, So, different times of year, different styles, different ways to catch fish. So,
that's true.
Yeah. One other thing that I think we have not mentioned as well is we want to make this a 100% live release tournament as well. So, not to include the tournament in February, but the series that we speak of, no dead fish will be allowed to be weighed in, period. So,
well, Pete, if they say we're in an El Nino weather pattern and y'all are actually north of us, if this weather pattern holds true, they're saying North Carolina's going to average about 8 to 10 inches of snow this year.
We'll see if it happens
in middle North Carolina. So,
really, is that what they're saying?
Yeah. With the El Nino pattern this year.
Mm.
Yep.
But there again, that February, that's our coldest months, dude.
It is. It's harsh. But the thing is, that's when a lot of swings happen. It could be cold, and then all of a sudden, boom, warm again, too. So,
I used to fish a lot in the winter, but, man, by the time you're wearing your thermals and your blue jeans and your underwear and then your bibs and your big-ass coat, and it's just like you can't move. You can't.
Man, I got me one of them tank top double burner infrared heaters I put on my boat last year.
Yeah.
I don't think I fished with a jacket on most of the time. I mean, it puts off so much heat. I stayed comfortable.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Once the wind gets up to the point where it blows your burners out, then you're screwed.
Yeah, so Lee, I mentioned while you were gone also that, while the 4 months, September, October, November, December, different styles of fishing all 4 months. So someone may have an advantage 1 month versus someone else.
Absolutely. I'll excel in September and October because it's a live bait. It's still a live bait bite. It's still a deep bite. It's a point-driven bite. You can't pull by so many points pulling artificials. I can hump, jump, point, jump, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And again, me and Pete's talked about this. It kind of opens the spectrum to everyone. And we're looking at maybe, hopefully, being able to run maybe kind of like a point systems thing, but at the end of it, having a cookout or a party, whatever you want to call it. But it goes all the way back to that camaraderie thing. It's just another time we all get together and hang out.
Yeah, true. The other thing to mention also while you're gone is that the series, we want to make it 100% live fish weigh-in. So 100%. No dead fish brought to a scale.
So you can keep fish. You can keep fish. If you want to take your fish home to eat, that's cool, 100%. The only thing we're asking is the 2 fish you weigh get released and they swim away. If you got 6 in the cooler, do you, boo? Absolutely. Take you some meat home, whatever you want to do. But the fish
The
that
series
are
going to be a 2
weighed,
fish.
That's up for discussion.
Well,
We're looking at 2 to 3 fish, maybe. We'll see. Not 4, because I feel like at least that someone that sees 4 fish weigh in, that might turn them off, because not a
they
lot of
can
folks
catch
can
2 or
catch 4
3,
fish.
but they can't get that 4th fish. They just are like, nah, I'm out.
I'm
Now,
voting
do
for a
people
3
really
fish
think
weigh-in
that
personally.
hard about entering a tournament?
Hell yeah.
Dude, we have me and Pete have been on the phone for 12 hours this week. Easy.
Damn.
Trying to figure this out.
What's your wife say about that?
I was at work. She don't care.
Oh, that's to work. Yeah.
12 hours? Damn, boy, I believe
So
so.
my vote is 2 fish.
My
And
vote's 3 fish, but that'll be up for
Pete's
discussion later.
vote is 3 fish. That'll be decided later. But Pete's got a good argument. 2 fish on Lake Norman, your numbers are going to come to like half ounces.
Yeah, because they are a lot of them the same size.
Right. And I get that. But my whole
What about
thought on
Lynn?
that is if you promote a tournament as 2 fish, David knows this, Pete knows this. There's a ton of people that's had 2 fish at 11:30, 12 o'clock. They threw them in the water and said, hell with it, we're going home, because there's other people that's got 4. We're not even going to weigh in and they leave.
Yeah.
Okay, are y'all going to have a lie detector?
That's still up in the air. It's so a
All
lot
that
of detectors
costs
cost money, and like you were saying earlier, people want big prizes. So once we put a lie detector test in there, we have to pay someone, a company, something to promote and do said lie detector test.
But you got a lot of people now, too, that won't fish a tournament unless that test is given.
I'm okay with that if we have the numbers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what's y'all's goal for this tournament? Have y'all got a goal of how many you'd like to see enter?
So the
40
February
bucks.
tournament typically averages about anywhere from 30 to 40 usually. It's a good number to use, I think.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. If it's not too cold, because I'll be done with Chesapeake Bay. I might come up here and fish it with y'all just to come hang out.
And that is the whole reason I made the post I made today on Facebook. You may not have seen it. I don't know if you're a member of that Lake Norman Hybrids page. If you're not, go join it. I made a post on there today that says something in the ramification of, why don't you fish tournaments? If you do fish tournaments, why do you fish them? If you don't fish tournaments, why do you not? And that was my whole, now that this is all out, when me and Pete were talking, that was kind of my whole idea behind that whole post, is how we can get more people involved. Is it
Y'all
a
find
money
somebody's
thing?
boat. Find somebody's boat I can get on, because I don't want to drag my big ass boat up there to do no hybrid fishing.
Well, you can fish with me.
I don't even know the lake.
You can fish with me. Right now, it's me and my daughter. So,
All right, I'll come fish with you.
there it
By the
is.
way, Lee, I meant to tell you earlier, your wife said that she won't fish if it's cold. Tell her ass that if Riggs can fish when it's cold, her ass can fish when it's cold.
It was 19 when we fished last year, so I think she'll be all right. But
Yeah.
I mean, if it's me and Wes and her and my daughter, I mean, I'm good with that. Wes might teach me something.
Nah, I don't know. I'm not up there. I don't know nothing.
So someone here
A
made a
hybrid
comment.
in Hartwell and a hybrid in Norman are still the same fish.
Yeah,
It's really similar to Hartwell hybrid
This
fishing.
fish is very similar to Hartwell.
Now, what do y'all use for bait up there? We use herrings, our go-to bait down here. Live
I
bait.
catch my own bait. I fish alewives.
Okay. Oh, that's even better.
Right.
That's money.
Yeah. So someone made a comment here real quick, since some of y'all can't see it, about we're going to stop a lot of people who don't have live wells. And that was discussed as well with all this conversation. And the fact of the matter is this: February, you can throw a fish in a 5-gallon bucket and keep them alive. So
Every time I come to the weigh-in, where's my fish at?
in a 5-gallon bucket, practically live well. Yeah.
Or my bait tank.
Yeah.
You can put your fish in a bait tank with your bait, and they will live better than they will in any 5-gallon bucket, live well, any of that.
I don't know of any boat nowadays that does not have some sort of live well system where they can fill with water and call it good at all. So
Well,
I don't like the excuse. Hey, let me finish. I don't like the excuse of, well, I don't have a live well to keep them alive, because in February that's kind of bull.
Yeah, I agree.
I put 10
Everyone's got
trout. I
something
put
that
10,
mixed in.
16-inch trout and a Ron Vest tank one time, and they eat 2 dozen fucking herring. They eat 2 dozen herring. They were gone.
Now, I will say a couple years ago,
honestly, whoever asked that question, if they have a bait tank in their boat, you can drop your fish straight in that bait tank, and I promise you they will live. Every year, I've finished in the top 5 or 6 of this tournament, and that's every fish I weigh in comes straight out of that bait tank.
Yeah. And, to add also this, a few years ago, I screwed up and threw fish in the live well and did not turn the pump on because I was fishing shallow water. And I fished all day, forgot to turn the pump on. The fish, even though they were beat up,
let's not bring it.
They were still alive. So long story short, you can throw them in a tub, whatever, and they will survive no problem.
Let's not bring that day back up.
Okay. Deal. Anyways, you can throw them in a bin and they will survive no problem in wintertime.
100%. You could put a bubbler, one of them little Walmart bubblers, in a 5-gallon bucket, put a catfish weight, a sinker, whatever, on the bottom of the bubbler, and put it in the bottom of a 5-gallon bucket, and those fish swim all day. The water temperature's 48 to 52 degrees.
Yep.
That'll work for February, but that won't work for the series.
So that
I agree.
So that probably will not work for September, October. That's correct.
I will agree with that. They will not work in September. You got to have a circulation system in September and October.
Well, you can, and put this out there. Anybody can win a tournament. Was it Chinese or Mexican guys a couple years ago won that tournament on Norman, the SBC, on some fucking chicken liver? They really were using chicken livers and called a hybrid and won $25,000.
All that is not true. So that tournament happened on High Rock. And they won that tournament on crappie minnows. I fished that tournament. Pete fished that tournament. Scott Perry fished that tournament. Daniel Skipper fished that tournament. Everybody fished that tournament. We got our ass kicked by 2 Laotian fellows that had crappie minnows, and they fished within 100 yards of the dock. So everything you've heard up to that point is bullshit. Yeah. That is actually what happened.
I just heard they called a hybrid.
I can tell you exactly where they fished at, number 1. And number 2, they were smart about it, because at the last couple hours of that tournament, I downsized everything, knowing these fish wanted baits that small.
I thought I had the tournament won at 7:30. I was fishing beside Stephen Hobbs, and I had a fish plow Alabama rig, set the hook, and the rod was just heavy. I caught a 38-pound carp on an Alabama rig. I sent him pictures of it.
Let me tell you this story. So during that tournament, we caught a 2-pound blue cat. So we go to net it and start yelling and screaming and cheering, just being jackasses. Man, I couldn't tell you how many text messages I got like an hour later saying, I heard you got one.
Yep.
I was like,
that tournament was one on crappie minnows.
Yeah.
Damn might as well been a canoe within eyesight of the boat ramp.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Now, where they caught those fish at is a very well-known area that normally holds fish in wintertime. So those guys are local. There's no question about it. It's not luck. Those guys knew where they're fishing at.
No, they done it right. 100% done it right.
Yeah. So
they had the cheapest boat on the water. They were fishing Walmart push pin reels, and they kicked the best fishermen in North Carolina and South Carolina ass.
In the southeast, the whole southeast fishery. Yeah.
Hey, we all know though, that's luck. That's what they call luck. I take luck in fishing over anybody's skill any day.
I'll just say this. I'm glad someone actually caught something that damn day, because they would have been shit talking even more
I still to this
No one
day
caught fish.
have not caught a striped fish on High Rock.
Why did they even have that tournament there? Did they ever say? Because they knew it was a shithole before they started.
Well, it used to not be a shithole, number one. I think the reason why they had it was because the guys that ran the tournament lived somewhere there near High Rock, so it was kind of close and convenient. But High Rock Lake used to, and it still does, have big fish. So I think their hopes was that someone would actually catch one of these legendary High Rock
Am I still here
20
right
or
now?
30-pound fish.
Coming in and out. Your picture is.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna send you a picture, Wes, of
All right.
the morning of that tournament when I was catching bait. My boat's covered in snow. I mean, it was a shit show. All right, it's gonna take me a minute, but I'm gonna send you a picture. What year was that, Pete?
That was that the year of COVID by chance?
18, 19? That's kind of what I was thinking.
I think so. Yeah, 18 maybe. Maybe
I'm
19.
still scrolling. That's a long way ago. But I've got a picture of my daughter standing in the boat that morning. My Sea Ark is covered.
Yeah,
in
mind
snow.
you, let's go ahead and add this to the story. So, pre-fishing, the 2 days prior to the tournament, we caught fish. And that night, a cold front went through, temperatures dropped. It snowed that night. And then the very next morning, bluebird skies, and the wind was howling about 20 miles an hour.
That was awful.
That was also the reason why there were no fish caught.
Well, I mean, that's like every tournament we have on Norman. I mean, it'll be 60 degrees all week long. I'll catch 100 fish in 2 days, and then like last year, the tournament rolls around and half my bait died overnight because the temperature went from 60 to 19.
Yep.
And when it started sucking that cold air in my bait tank, I got up the next morning. I got to a weigh-in that me and Pete have obviously talked about a lot. I looked at Pete's boat, walked around in Pete's boat, opened my bait tank to show them that I didn't have no fish in my bait tank, and 2/3 of my bait was dead. And I was like, well, shit. I'm still trying to find this picture, Wes. I got a lot of scrolling to do.
In the meantime, I'll send Wes a photo of an actual High Rock fish that was caught that same year, by the way, earlier in the year, though.
I've already seen that fish.
They exist. They're in there.
Oh, I agree. I mean, Pete sends them to me. I've seen them.
Pete, you gonna be fishing High Rock any between now and the end of the year? Any mornings?
I'm pretty sure I'll be there a couple mornings, yes.
Because I drive to High Point every morning through the week. I could actually go in at lunchtime if I needed to. So if you
All right.
if you got an empty boat, let me know. I'll meet you.
Sounds good.
Because it ain't too. I mean, the ramp's not far off 85, is it?
It's about maybe 15 minutes off 85. Exit 79, I think it is.
Yeah. I go right past there every day.
That's a nice strap. What was that, 22, 25 pounds?
Nah, I'd say more so 15, 16 probably.
That's a nice fish.
I just sent you them 2 pictures.
One of
How'd you send them?
I'll send you one more here, Wes.
There we go.
One of them's the fish that I fought one tournament. The other one is the console of my boat covered in snow
Look
with
at
my
the
daughter
snow.
laying in the floor of the boat, freezing
Hell
her
yeah.
ass off.
Bless her heart.
That was like a very cold morning, like 22 degrees, I think it was, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was awful.
God, I didn't even know a carp could swim in that cold of water.
Well, they can.
Mm.
We might have foul hooked him. He had 3 hooks in his head off an Alabama rig.
Yeah, you just snagged him.
Look at
What
that.
they call
When I set that hook, I'm telling you, it was like 7:30, 7:45. I was over by the railroad trestle where I had marked fish. I had pulled a fish off. I knew I was on fish. That rod doubled over, and I was like, shit, I got it one right here. Nope, it was a carp.
Yeah.
What is it they call that they do in Tennessee after them billfish or whatever with the
Snagging them.
snagging them with a
Yeah.
big old treble.
Treble hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're doing the what kind of fish is
It's that big
Spoonbills, right?
spoonbill.
spoonbill, yeah.
And they're only allowed to do that now. I think it's 5 or 7 days a year. But you go down there below the dam, the Loudon Dam, and listen, them son of a bitches will knock you out of a boat with them treble hooks.
Oh yeah.
I caught one probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago in the clinch. And I actually hooked him, and Anthony Johnson called me a liar. But I was pulling probably a 6-8 inch gizzard. And I'm making another drink, sorry.
Okay.
I caught him on probably
Pour in your
6
truck.
or
I like
7 inch
it.
gizzard. Well, I left my liquor bottle in the truck so I wouldn't get in trouble.
You lost service. You lost Lee.
But the only reason I hooked him is because he swiped at the bait and his bill caught the treble hook. He caught the stinger hook.
I was up below right there in Middle Tennessee. What's the dam up there in Carthage?
I won't even know.
Shit. Lee, what's the dam there?
Not Loudon.
No, in Middle Tennessee, right there in Carthage.
I know. It's right there at the top of the Caney Fort.
Yeah. No,
Cordell
at the top.
Cordell Hall.
No, yeah, Cordell Hall Dam. We were about 2 miles below that one night, and I'd been up there for 3 days, and I forgot that guy's name was with me. And we hadn't had a bite, dude, and it had just got dark. And one of them toriums took off, and when I mean it took off hauling ass. I was like, fuck yeah, I didn't even give him time to grab the rod, dude. I done got $1,500 in this fishing trip. I'm getting anything that bends a rod. So I told myself, grab my phone and go live. So I hooked this fish, and I fought him there, anchored up for about maybe a minute, and I couldn't gain nothing on him. I said, we're going to lose all this line. So I dropped the anchor because I kept a life preserver tied to my anchor rope. I told him, I said, just, uncleat the anchor. We're going to chase this fish. I chased that son of a bitch almost all the way down to the Carthage boat ramp, and it was a damn billfish. And I was live the whole time, and I said, oh, shit. I said, kill that video. Kill it when I see what it was. He said, man, this is a cool video. I said, dude, them motherfuckers cuss me out if they know they watch this video for 35 or 40 minutes. That's a damn billfish.
So the one I caught, I picked him up and went to take a picture of him. When I did, I run my arm under his stomach. That son of a bitch shit from my chest bone to my flip flop. And it smelled like somebody had poured sardines in my boat yesterday.
They're nasty as fuck, dude.
God, it was nasty.
Yeah. So I was going back here. I see a comment. I must have missed it a while ago. We all missed it a while ago here.
I can't see him.
If John's still on here, he wanted me to rate Santee on a scale of 1 to 10 from my experience last week. And I'd give it a solid, let's say 7, maybe 6, somewhere thereabouts. We'll call it 6.5.
What?
It was pretty good, So I will say that for my style of fishing, I do like your lake a lot better, Wes, for sure.
Oh, Hartwell.
I like Hartwell a lot more. So I'd say Hartwell is the best. Santee was second. And I would even put the Tennessee Lake, Cherokee third, and Murray last.
Well, I'll tell you, if y'all don't know Dean Cox, he's a buddy of mine. He's the hat. He's a big Clemson fan. I'll take my hat off to him. Dean's been catching the shit out of some fish on Hartwell lately. I think they put 22 in the boat today. Some nice fish. So
that's respectable. So I ain't fished Hartwell in probably 10 years. There used to be a boy that worked at Lake Hartwell Outdoor Center. I want to say his name was Josh Brown.
I know Josh Brown.
Okay. So me and him hooked up online or whatever, and we hung out a little bit. And we fished together for about a year and a half. And we fished one morning. We fished the very back. I want to say Little Beaver Dam. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
That's what Little Beaver and Big Beaver and Connie Ross Creek's like the only 3 creeks people know to fish Hartwell.
All right. So when you go Little Beaver, when you go into the creek, there's a bridge and it's like real shallow.
Yeah.
and you go back there and there's a flat. One of the
Yeah, and
best
if you go around that flat, you'll come to another bridge. It's got a narrow thing, and if you can get through that bridge,
okay, that's where we were at.
Yeah.
So we went under the second bridge, and we went back there, and it's just a big mud flat. It's 3, 4, 5 foot deep, the whole place.
Yeah.
We spun around in there that morning in my Sea Art pulling free lines, gizzard shad.
Did y'all go all the way back to the road?
Yeah, there was like a building or something back to the very back hand left side.
Yeah,
there's
go
an
back
island
to
in the
the
middle.
highway. Yeah.
Yep. We pulled free lines in there that morning, and this was December, January. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. I bet you we caught 15 to 20 stripers, and every damn fish was 12 pounds plus.
Yeah.
But that's been, damn Wes, that's been 7, 10 years ago.
Yeah, Hartwell used to be an awesome fishery, but
I fell in love with Hartwell then. And then I went back and fished it a couple times. I fished 6 and 20. Is that right?
That's my favorite creek to fish, Hartwell.
I fished 6 and 20. I done good in there a couple times. There's a sketchy ass boat ramp that you put in that's like got no parking.
Hurricane Creek.
That's it. I fished that a good bit. I loved Hartwell in the winter. I could take some dollar bill sized gizzards, a little less down there, and go in those 5 to 3 foot of water and smoke them. And I don't know why I ever gave it up, but I did.
Yeah, Hartwell's not. Well, Hartwell's coming back. Everybody, and like I said, Dean Cox has been catching a lot of fish. All the guides are staying busy down there now. So, like I said, when I bring my boat back, I might hit Hartwell a couple of times if I just want to fish. I just started saltwater fishing. I just can't get into freshwater fishing no more for some reason.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's just hard.
It's tough for sure. But yeah, I will be back at Hartwell this year. As a matter of fact, we're looking at Airbnbs down there for the.
Hey guys, hold on a minute. Dean Cox, I see you're watching. I'm gonna send you an invite right quick. I want you to get on here and tell us some things about Hartwell.
Hey, I'm in tournaments. I got to fish to get in that final.
For which one?
SBC.
4 out of the 5, I think it is.
Okay.
Or 3.
I might fish that one on Murray now since we changed our date.
You need to go to Hartwell. Do Hartwell.
I'll do Hartwell. That one's. But I'm telling you, all that stuff I told you about Murray, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try. I can weigh 2 fish. I ain't worried about that.
All right, Dean Cox, check your Facebook Messenger. Oh, go ahead, Lee. I'm sorry.
I think that we are, kind of thinking out loud here for Murray this year. I think when we pre-fish one day Murray and call it good versus
that's me
fishing 2 days.
Guys, we did good. We've got one time we had 26 viewers. We're still down to 18.
Yeah. And then I'll stay in the river. I mean, that's what I know. I lie bait fish. I've caught some damn good fish up there in January. That's me and my daughter when she was a lot younger. Every year she was out of school, Martin Luther King Day, we always went down there and put in at Big Man's. And we've had some phenomenal days down there. Will I win the tournament? No. Will I weigh 2 fish? Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of it, as you know, is based off of weather, man. You get one of these extreme, every year, it's always something. When we
we get a pouring ass rain, then what I want to fish is going to go to shit.
Yeah, it was like 5 inches of rain a couple days prior. So
I told you about all that last year, and I told you you'd struggle because it was shallow water fishing. But
we found some fish. I think we ended up finished 16th, I think, in Murray. So we did pretty good considering.
David, how I get more people to fish that tournament on Norman?
He's muted.
He's back.
Wife's watching The Voice or something, so I was trying to spare y'all.
Thanks.
Okay. How we get more people to fish that tournament on Norman?
Just talk it up, I guess, man. I mean, I think you got a great plan. I mean,
That's the one thing I got to give Trevor a hard time about is years
Yeah, he don't
past, he
promote
did
it.
not really promote it too much on social media.
yeah.
And so
Well, with
I feel like
me and you being admins of it now, I think a lot of
Yeah.
that'll help.
yeah.
Me and Trevor's dad, Russell, go back long ways. We've been friends for a long, long time. He used to race against my dad years ago up at Hickory Motor Speedway. Didn't know if you knew that or not, Peter.
I did
So,
not.
what's your opinion on a number of fish for the weigh-in?
I like 2 or 3. I'd be fine with either one. I mean, I agree 4 is pushing it. If you catch it on a good day, 4 ain't a problem. But sometimes, like last year, it was a struggle.
Yeah, I weighed 3 fish and I caught 4.
Yeah.
Oh, one more important thing that we failed to mention during all this is the youth. The youth, yes. So this year for the youth stuff, we're going to make it all in one, meaning you have 4 fish, all 4 fish count to the same cause.
And the youth biggest fish of the 4 can count for the youth.
Correct.
So you don't have to have a 5th fish for the youth.
Correct.
No, because so me and Pete talked about that extensively. If we give you a 5th fish and you're right there sitting back here watching the weigh-in, watching that otter, it's
Do
like,
you
okay,
crap your kid out or do you?
this or this?
Right. I agree with that 100%. Your kid has to catch the 4, so he ought to be able to count the biggest one.
Whoever has a youth angler with the biggest fish will take the youth prize.
Okay, what about a women angler?
Also, looking back at like the SBC, for example, that's the same exact thing they do. You know, the youth is considered the same as a 2-fish weigh-in.
How about a woman angler?
We don't do
Same thing.
ladies. Or do we?
If we were to have a ladies angler, it would be the same thing.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah.
Whether it's 2 fish, 3 fish, or 4 fish, if you have a lady angler, then whoever teams finishes first or the highest with the lady angler would win that. Same thing with the kids. You can finish fifth.
The lady, is it going to be big fish or is it going to be total weight?
Big fish.
It'll be one fish.
Big fish.
It'll be one fish. Yep.
Yeah.
So whatever team has the biggest fish that had a woman or a kid, if we do a women's, we're probably not going to do a women's. It'll just be a kid's. But say you finish 3rd, but you are the only person in the top 3 that has a child, then that child will win the youth angler. There won't be a 5th fish. There won't be a 4th fish, 3rd fish, regardless. It'll be whatever team finishes the highest with that angler.
Yep.
All right, well, guys, I'm going to bed. I actually got to move a lot of furniture tomorrow.
Gotcha.
What are you doing?
It's been real.
Well,
You can stay down here and chat if you want to.
Well, my wife is about that damn dog. We had to get a king size bed. So
oh Lord, just for the dog, huh?
For the dog.
Oh my God.
Guess what my family wants for Christmas?
Right.
What's that?
A puppy.
Get them one. And listen, dude, there's nothing like that right there would be your best friend.
Oh yeah.
You know, after seeing all my photos, you know, deep down inside, you want you a damn boat dog.
I do 100%. My problem is my work schedule. I work a 48 hours straight. So if she's at work, I'm not going to say I'm the most humane person, but I don't want to leave a dog locked in a cage for 12 hours.
That's my bed. I mean, that's my side.
I don't want to leave a dog locked in the cage for 12 hours. If I'm at work for 48 hours and it falls on a weekend that she has to take her child to see his dad in Columbia, I'm not leaving that dog in a damn crate for a day.
Well,
and that's my whole thing behind it is I don't want to be unfair to the damn dog.
Yeah. We crate train Copper State, which, you know, Lori comes home for lunch every day. But we crate train Copper, and after about 3 weeks, at night, he'd go in the crate. We didn't even have to put him in there no more. He kind of thought it was his.
I get all that. It's just I'm gone 2 nights consecutive. If she's not in town, I don't want that damn dog to have to stay in a crate for 48-hour period.
Yeah.
Hey, here's
That's
how we
all
have
it-
fun. Hey, Lee, David, I done showed this to Pete. This was about 2 hours ago. This is how I have fun with my coon dog.
Peanut
Abusive.
butter on his nose.
I'll show you.
Abusive. I'm gonna report you.
Animal abuse.
Yeah, I'm gonna report you.
That'll be all right.
Hey, Wes, holler at me in the next couple days and let's figure this out.
All right. Yeah, I'll come up and fish with you in February.
Come
Definitely.
on.
I'm
Like
gonna
I
let
say,
something happen,
I'm gonna
maybe-
have my kids. I mean, I've got my ass. So I fished every one of these tournaments. I've placed in the top 7 every one of these tournaments, but outside of one of these tournaments, I've never caught a fish before 12 o'clock. So I'll be happy to have
How far am I from Norman? I'm in Greenville.
hour and a half.
Oh, that's it.
No,
Yeah.
that's a lot further than that.
Yeah,
No,
I'll
it
take
ain't.
He's talking about like deep South Greenville there. Like,
But I
I'm
mean,
only
really,
deep
he's
south,
not.
though.
But like, he's not pulling a boat. I mean, he's just
Oh, yeah.
literally gonna get in his truck, jump on 85, run all the way up 85 to 321. Hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if I need to get me a motel, if there's any good motels around that lake.
Wes,
yeah.
Greenville's an hour and 19 minutes from me, and then I'm 45 minutes from,
might as
well,
well
an
call,
hour.
might as well call it 2 hours.
Depending on where you put in. You go put in same place as last year? Hager Creek?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, with me helping run the tournament now, I got to be
I say
there.
bring
so
it to
no.
the, I say bring it to the south. Bring it
Oh,
across.
so it will be in Hager's, by the way. It is.
Yeah,
It'll be
it's
in
going to be
Hager's?
at Hager's. We've already
Okay.
got the permit. It's going to be at
Okay,
Hager's.
that's what I was asking. Yeah,
No.
I mean, it takes me an extra 20 minutes to drive around the lake
Yeah, so
But
I'm
it's all-
I'm gonna put in a Little Creek and go
like you did last year.
Yeah. But no, Wes, for real. Hell, you can stay at the house if you want to ride up the night before.
Yeah, so you're looking at 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes or so, Wes, something like that, probably. Type in Hager Creek access, Wes, and I'll tell you exactly if you come straight.
Hold
to
on a
the
minute. Let's see.
Oh, if he types in Hager's Creek, yeah, it's gonna be 2 hours.
Yeah.
Hager.
Yeah.
Haegar, right? Something like that.
I don't
On
think
McKendree Road.
I don't know. I just know how to get there. I don't know the name of the roads.
Better yet, just Google search Queen's Landing, Lake Norman. That'll be
it's
within 10 minutes.
Hager. Hager
Yeah.
Creek access, McKendree Road. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I got it. Let's see here.
Oh, TJ talking about this, 8 minutes from his house, but yeah, he fishes it like once a month. Come on, TJ. You be out there like on your off day, man. Come on. You get home at 3 p.m. every day. You might as well go for a couple hours.
You'd be great. I wish me and you lived 10 minutes from Norman.
Man, I tell you what, I used to live 15 minutes away from Lake Norman way, way back in the day, and that's why I fished all the time. And
I lived in Iron Station for a while.
yeah,
And that was 15 minutes from Little Creek.
yeah, I live in South. Yeah, definitely.
2 hours and 13 minutes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that ain't bad.
Well, I mean, I'm off. So the weekend we're having a tournament, I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, hell.
I mean,
Talk about pre-fishing. There you go.
You know me, I don't pre-fish. It ain't never got me
Yeah.
nowhere. I've done the best pulling out a boat ramp and saying, all right, let's see what works.
Yep.
But no, really, Wes, if you want to ride up here on Thursday or so, hell, you can stay at the house.
All right.
I left Friday of last year with 22 pounds and probably 4 biggest was 22 plus pounds. And we caught 7 or 8 on Friday. And then Saturday sucked.
Dude, if you knew what me and Pete done on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday,
And Friday for me, yes.
you would throw up.
Mercer, I think I was pretty close, about 22, 23 pounds on Friday, the day before. Yes.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think.
I hear that.
I think.
I mean,
third,
I went home Friday with a freaking big head. You know what I mean?
Thursday I caught like 52 fish or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Pete seen each other Saturday morning. We were
We,
sitting
but
in
we,
the same
we
school of
both did
fish,
this. We both did this. We were like, fucking
and we were like,
Yeah.
and they were there. So I will tell you
That's
this:
what was strange about Saturday is they were there.
all three of the
All
fish
day
I
they were
weighed,
there.
all three of the fish I weighed Saturday, I had caught by 7:15. If I'm lying, ask Pete.
I
Yeah.
believe you. I remember.
I couldn't
believe
tell
you
you how many
swallowed
fish I threw back that were just touching 20 inches. I'm like, I don't need this to happen to me
He
right
kept
now. So I
calling
threw
me
him
and
back.
he's like, dude, this fish is so close. If I squeeze his tail like hard enough, he'll make it. I'm like, dude, I got one in a live well right now. I don't know if he's 19 7/8 or 20 1/4.
I'd be like, hang that sucker by the lip on your center console and hang some weight on his tail and just hang him there for a little while. He'll be good.
And that's
by the time
kind
he gets
and
there.
that's kind of the reason we're going to the live fish weigh-in and
Yeah.
the live fish release
Yeah.
is because and
So,
that's I'm a big advocate of two fish. I want a two fish weigh-in because I feel like that will attract more people.
Now, how are they going to weigh these fish in on live on their own scales?
yeah, they
No,
have
sir.
pretty good skills.
No, we'll have a set of scales.
Yeah.
Oh, you
And that's
talking about
why I
live?
go
Weigh? I
with
thought you meant
fish
like
because
live while
two
they're
fish
catching
can
them
be
and
too
weigh them and then
close.
release them. Okay, I got
No.
Fish have to be alive.
you. Okay.
Yep,
And
and they got to be
after
released.
the ramp.
Like that striper fish, that big tournament I fished in New Jersey, we actually won 19 grand. The way they did that tournament was we had a ruler. They gave you a ruler and you had a number. When you caught a fish, you had to put your number down by the ruler and take a picture where you could clearly see how long the fish was because they were doing it in length. They didn't do it in weight.
I
No,
fished a tournament on Lanier.
There's a lot of questions in that because I didn't get the timestamp, yada yada yada. You're bringing 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, fish to the scale alive. Once you weigh these alive fish and you release them, your weight counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
One
good.
thing,
Like I said, but
I'll
see,
say
they did
this,
it with emails too.
Me and Lee talked about this. One thing that really pissed me off last year in the tournament is, it was live weigh-in, but there was some random guy, not random to us, but we'll call him a random guy in the back of the parking lot saying, "Hey, if you don't want those fish, I'll take them." And at the end of the tournament, this guy had like 25 hybrids in the damn bag, and I'm like, we're promoting a live release. This shit can't happen. So we want to avoid that as well.
That 100% happened last year.
Yes.
It did.
And
It
that will not
really
happen.
pissed me off, and that will not
It pissed
happen
me
either
off as
again.
bad as it
It's
pissed
one
him
thing
off.
if it's a needy family or something and needs some fish. I mean, that's what
Right. That goes back to the 401c
I don't mind
thing.
giving my fish to somebody, but
Right. That goes back to the 401c thing, trying to make this for other people, giving people donations. If you weigh a dead, if you show up with a dead fish, then we'll throw it in this bucket over here and we'll get it to a needy family.
is it going to be a
But-
penalty or a no way at all?
No way at all.
No way at all.
Yeah.
Your fish have to be alive when we weigh them, and they have to swim off.
Yep.
But like Pete said, there was a guy and his wife, everybody that weighed fish.
I think they got my fish. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Every time somebody would weigh fish, they'd walk up and be like, "Hey, you want these fish?" And when people said no, they threw them in a cooler.
Yeah.
And they walked away with a couple, two people, a man and a wife, walked away with with 25, 27 hybrids, something like
I might
that.
be exaggerating the number a little bit, but it was definitely in the teens for sure. We're not talking about bluefin tuna. We're talking about
That's the fish you were talking about earlier, little man.
But we're not.
That's why we can't get on track with the show because of random.
We're not
shit.
doing that. If you want to donate some spotted bass or catfish or perch, give them to whoever wants them. but you will weigh 2, 3, 4, however many fish, but they have to swim away.
Yep.
Because if we're not doing that, what are we promoting?
You're either doing it for conservation or to help, but I know these fish are going to die. That's the argument. I mean, I rarely keep fish, to be honest with you, ever. I mean, I have to just want to bring supper home or something to keep them. I try to release,
So if you catch 6 or 8 fish, keep your 4, keep your 6, keep your 8, whatever. The 2, 3, or 4 fish you weigh, have to swim off.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn if you show up with 12 fish. 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, whatever you weigh, has to swim off.
Now, also, so this is all for discussion.
David, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put 2 fish.
I ain't
I'm
arguing.
gonna put 2 fish in the live well, and when I catch a bigger fish, one of them is going in the cooler. When I catch another fish, I'm gonna weigh them.
Better keep an extra just in case one of them can't swim.
Right.
That way you'll have one to fall back on.
I'm gonna do the same thing, and that's why I think I posted the thing I posted on Facebook today about what keeps you away from tournament fishing.
Yeah.
Last year we weighed our 3 fish.
That's a thought. Should we give everybody the option to weigh 3 fish, even though you're only counting 2 in case one of them can't swim? Or is
no, whatever you weigh has to swim away.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, right quick, guys. I'm gonna leave.
What I'm getting at is after you've weighed, what if one of them don't swim away and you had a 3rd fish? Can you go back and get it?
This is where I'm trying to add my input here in the conversation. So one thing that we need to discuss as well is a definition of a live fish as well, because we could bring a fish to the scale and he can be alive, fin moving, something like that, but he won't swim away. So should that fish count? In my eyes, yes, it's a live fish coming to the scale. So
guys,
I agree because
I gotta go to bed, Pete.
Here's the thing, guys.
Good night, guys. Y'all gonna leave.
Good night, buddy.
Y'all talk as much as you want.
All right.
Because here's the thing, and you're right, Pete. I agree because it's going to be outside of the angler's control how fast you can get that fish through weigh-in and released.
That's correct, yes.
And at that point, if that fish dies during the handling, it's not the angler's fault.
That's correct.
Correct.
And so a lot of what I'm coming up with also is what we deal with crappie fishing, because we have all 7 fish that come to the scale. Crappie fishing must be alive. Now, you can keep them or you can dump them as well and let them go, which everyone chooses to let them go. Now, it's 100% of fish don't make it, but yet that fish still counts because that fin is still moving. The fish is flipping in the bin, so it's still alive. So is it possible that a fish may not swim off alive? Yes, 100% for sure. Is it going to be alive when it comes to the scale? Yes. So in my eyes, it's a live fish. It should be counted as the fish to be weighed in. Does that make sense? But again,
I would tend to agree with that. I would vote for that.
Correct. Yeah, we're talking about this now out loud, but we're going to talk about 5, 6 months.
Weighing out pros and cons. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yep.
Exactly.
And this is the whole reason we have what, Pete? Now 4 of us. This is the whole reason now we have 4 of us involved instead of 1 person.
5 of us. Yeah.
Sorry, 5 of us involved now instead of 1 person, because with 5, you're not going to have the same boat.
Yeah.
There's always a kicker. And that's
going to have different ideas and look at things in different ways and bring up things that somebody else may not have thought about.
Right.
The whole goal is for it to be fair for everybody. You know what I mean?
And that's what me and Peter's shooting for. I mean, you can ask anybody on Lake Norman. You can fish any tournament you want to fish. The 2 biggest bullseyes are on my back and his back.
Mm-hmm.
So with me and him and the other people being involved in this, then it kind of brings the whole spectrum around of we can attract that whole crowd that they may not agree with what Pete does, but they agree with what I do. They may not agree with what I do, but they may agree with what Pete or Chuck does. That's why we went from 1 person to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And between the 5 of us, we come up with some hell shape of agreement that, all right, that's what we're going to do. There was 3 different boat ramps talked about today where the tournament was going to be.
Yeah.
4. Sorry, 4.
Yeah.
But we were trying to make it as mid-lake as possible. That way, if you want to go north, you can go north. If you want to go south, you can go south. If you want to fish right in front of the boat ramp where I've done very well in the past, then you can fish right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's why we went from the whole kind of like one person thing to a committee. Is that the right word, Pete?
Yeah.
You'll call committee, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, Russell asked me last year if I wanted to be on it. I guess he forgot about me.
Well, actually, it wasn't Russell's idea for all this. So
Yeah.
Russell was actually that's the one person we haven't even spoke to at all because he's doing
This actually all started this week.
I got you.
Pete
Well, I guess
called
it
me.
must have been talked about last year because he mentioned
I'll
it.
tell you this. Me and Trevor, we talked about this during the U.S. Open King Mackerel tournament when he fished on my boat. Okay.
Yeah.
I mentioned to him and he's like, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna have time this year at all. Period. I'm like, you better get to going or figure something out because a lot of us looking forward to this, And so while and we discussed this a little bit, I'd send him a text message saying, any news, just trying to stir something up.
No, I'm glad to hear it, man. And honestly, I ain't.
Pete called me and he's like, "Hey, I don't want it by myself." I said, "Shit, I don't either."
Yeah. So
then Pete called me back a couple days later and said, "What if we done it with like a handful of us?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll be in on that."
Yeah.
Here we are.
But to backtrack a little more, so while I was in Santee, I got a text message from Trevor saying, "Hey, you're the first person I'm messaging. I need help, basically. Don't have time for this, and that. Would you be willing?" And I told him I'll text him back or call him back in a couple days, making sure this tournament's taken care of, whatever. And that's when I made my random phone calls to Lee and KT, especially because KT. Those that don't know KT, he doesn't social media much at all, but he is one of the Lake Norman OGs, and he is the most neutral person out there, no doubt about it.
100%.
He has no favorites whatsoever. We all talk amongst the clique and everything. Hell of a great fisherman, very quiet, but he is like the one that you would want, no questions asked, to be the brains about everything.
Yeah.
And he was the first person I contacted, and he said his words were abso-fucking-lutely, yes.
So I'll ask you another question, David.
Yeah, man.
While we're on all this, me and Chuck were talking the other day, and we were talking about trying to find out a way of knocking the line back, so to speak. How would you feel about it, like a pre-registry, to where when you've already paid your money, you show up, me, Pete, Trevor won't be there, so it'll either be me, Pete, Chuck.
Trevor will be there on the 10th. It was the 3rd that he was not able to be there. Remember?
That's right.
Or the 2nd.
So one of us check your. You pay
the more you
pre-register.
can do, I agree with pre-registering and prepaying. The more you can
one
do,
of us check your boat and you're gone.
Right. But I am dead set about that. I don't think we can dodge that. I think one of the whoever's designated as an official needs to make sure we check all the boats.
Yeah.
The boats will be checked. 100%.
The one thing that I didn't make the comment in the text because they're in the middle of my old man nap, I guess, when I got in from work. Didn't make a comment, but
I ruined that
registry. There needs to be a cutoff time because that will involve someone needing to go to a bank or something to transfer cash out and everything.
Right. So if our tournament's the 10th, then if you're going to pre-register, you need to register by, say, February 1st.
We do a little later than that. Like, say, if this is 10th, we just say the
5th or
4th.
6th.
Yeah, 4th or 5th, yes.
Yeah.
And then we also give you the option to register at the ramp as well.
You're right. And KT is a real estate agent, so we would kind of give him that side of it.
I know who you're talking about now. KT, yeah.
Okay. So
Kenneth Tucker's his name.
Yeah.
So it could be run as a Venmo, I'm not a fan of PayPal, but we could run it somewhere to where people can pre-register and pay via Venmo, whatever the case may be. And that way, when you show up at 6:30 and you're like, "Hey, I pre-registered," Pete jumps in your boat and he's like, "Yep, you're good here. The live well's good. Put in." I think that'll. So mine and Pete's big thing was we still want to fish the tournament, even though we're putting it on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard for us. We either got to be there at damn 3:30 in the morning to get our boat in the water, or we're going to be behind the 8 ball to begin with.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm looking at the pre-registry thing. Is if I can jump in your boat and be like, "Yep, bait tank's good, live well's good, go."
Let's put it this way: if there's
that's
30 people
check.
fishing the tournament and 15 pre-register, that's success because boom, 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 they're gone, and the line is a lot less.
So are
Yeah.
we going to do a blast off or?
Lines in time, I think, makes most sense.
Yeah, I agree. You can't do a blast off of 40 boats from Hager's.
Yeah, true.
You can, but these people ain't bass fishermen.
You
Yeah.
And
can, but
somebody's gonna wreck.
well, me and Pete can't hide no more. Me and him used to be last year. Me
Yeah.
and Pete were the first two people at the boat ramp.
You damn right we were, right? Yep.
Hey,
Because-
I've been right there with you for last 2 years in a row. It was the three
But
of
me
us.
and
Remember?
me
Here's
and
the funny,
Pete
here's the
have
funny
a-
thing. Last year, we were the
it-
first two boats in, and we weren't the first two boats out, but we didn't talk, we didn't do anything, and I'll be damned,
We
we're
just
side
drove.
by side.
But we have such a target on our backs that with me and him being a part of the tournament, we have to make it to where everybody has a fair chance.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Pete want to fish it too. I mean, we're here because we're trying to make this bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
So, like, it's hard for me and Pete to be like, "All right, well, your cutoff's at 6:30. Y'all leave," and then now me and him sitting there at the dock looking at each other, thinking, "All right, well, we got to have our lines in the water in 3 minutes."
Yeah.
We're,
Not to mention you're a live bait guy, so you might want to venture out and get live bait prior to, that kind of stuff too. So yeah.
I'll have my bait. I'll have my bait.
Yeah.
How do we attract more people, David?
You've asked me that about 4 times now, man.
I know you ain't give me an answer I want yet.
Oh,
Lee, I think the key to attracting more people is social media. Plain and simple.
yeah.
I think
Well,
the
and I think
the years,
with me and you,
the years
I think
prior,
with-
the years prior, and it's like this. You fish tournament, but yet you don't want to step on Trevor's toes because it's his
Right.
baby. And
Right.
so I'm not making Facebook posts because I have no reason to, because I do a reason to, but it's, I'm not leading the thing. So therefore,
Right.
whatever. But now with several of us, and now we have the green light to do this, we make Facebook posts. We will attract more people.
well, like with you being over it now, or page rights, whatever it was, and me being an admin, I can get in there and I can share that post. I can share it to
Yes.
all the catfishing tournaments that I'm a part of. With you being a part of all the crappie tournaments you're a part of on the Yak, and you can take it that way. I mean,
Correct. Yeah.
we can do a lot with it.
Yeah. There will be a good turnout, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'll reach.
I think
I'll
this will be
reach
the
out.
best turnout we've had.
I agree. I will draw up the
Reach
Facebook
out to me.
post tomorrow morning, by the way. So
I texted Dieter and told him when it was going to be.
cool.
He won't. So Dieter's got a cool idea. He wants to
Savannah.
basically. He's got a lot of the history of the Lake Norman striper swipers and stuff, and he's wanting to basically make a video of this is what we used to have. Now we got these young guns up here trying to do the same thing that they done back then that was so successful, and they're trying to do it now with a different breed of fish.
Yeah.
He's got a cool idea.
Does he? Sweet. Cool. Well,
He
good
muted
show,
himself
I
again.
guess. Do you understand sign language?
No, he muted himself again. I don't know
Right.
what this means.
I know.
I guess he's playing baseball.
Hey, Macarena.
Strike.
What did I miss? I don't know. I come back and y'all look like
We're doing baseball calls right now.
I don't know.
We're
It looked like
Like,
you were
what
doing
did I
baseball
miss?
calls.
I don't know what all this is about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah. With that said, I think that concludes what we have to say for tonight. What do you say?
When you gonna bring it live?
I am going to post tomorrow morning when I wake up, and generally that's about 6 a.m. So
Cool. I'm an admin on the page, right? So I can like reply to messages and stuff like that.
perfect.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Cool.
We'll make it work.
David,
Yeah, man.
you gonna be able to do it again?
Try.
That's all I
Try
need to
to
hear.
get, I'm gonna try to get it. I didn't quite get it all the way done last year. I got beat by Russell. Remember?
Yeah. Of all the people that deserve to win, Russell absolutely.
He did. He
100%.
did.
So I got to tell you this story, Mercer, since you are an advocate for the Captain Mac stuff.
Oh yeah.
On Santee, I threw everything at him. Okay, I did my game. I did the mini max, bucktails, the whole works. The first 2 days, my shad, they outproduced anything I had whatsoever. And on tournament day, same spread, but I put the mini mac out there and played around with that. And shocking enough, on the tournament day, they ate the hell out of a bucktail. I mean, the bucktail bite was on fire that day.
Yep.
Didn't catch a damn fish on the mini mac.
It's-
Nothing.
it's-
Zero.
Yeah.
Zilch.
Was that a single or a
That
double? Was you pulling a double rig or a single bucktails?
Double.
Doubles.
I can vouch for that because, like, I crashed his Facebook post, and I said, "Oh, I seen those pictures a day or two ago."
Hey, I'll tell you what I did at that
their
tournament.
ass.
I done some experimenting. Fished that Lanier tournament back in July. So, and that's what we were using, like big 2 and 3 ounce bucktails and lead core and fishing really deep because that was in July and that's a deep lake. That's the first time I'd ever been there. So I got to thinking about, so pre-fishing, trying to remember what it was. So I had bought some Sally Henson glow in the dark clear nail polish.
That sounds expensive.
Yeah. So I painted up half and half. Half my rigs were painted with glow in the dark. I just basically just rebrushed over. You couldn't even see it, when it dried by the naked eye, but under light, they glow like a summer gun, son. So I just had the feeling that 60 foot down, 50 foot down. I mean, that little bit of glow probably. I mean, it's fairly dark, that deep. And I swear, man, it made a difference.
I'll believe it. A
little bit of light, I guess, was easier to see or something. But those ones I painted by far got the most bites.
Yeah. When last night, them fish in Santee were absolutely hitting it. Dude, I'm telling you, man, they hit so damn hard that I could not pull rods of the rod holder at all. The bucktails I normally put on the planer boards on the outside. They were hitting that shit so damn hard. I'm talking about the dang rod, the line zipping across the back of the boat, and the rod hit me in the side of the head. I mean, they were hammered.
How far back was you pulling them behind your boards?
About 2 colors.
Chartreuse on Norman.
Yeah, man. That's what was working today.
That's any day. I don't know
out there.
why. Chartreuse, where it's at.
Sometimes it's white, and did I tell you about experimenting with? Well, this was out at Moss Lake. This wasn't Norman, but this tripped me out, Peter. I might have told you, but I had out a bunch of white mini max. Most of them were older rigs, and they had become slightly dingy. And one of my rigs was a brand new one that I just opened up, and all brand new swim bodies, and it was just bright white. Had the same exact depths and everything, one each side of the boat, and the brand new one like kept getting hammered. The one that was on the right, it looked brand new to the eye, but it was slightly discolored. I mean, slightly. And it never got touched. So I told my buddy, I said, Puckett, I said, they got it. I mean, we're getting that right there is getting slammed, and we're in fish everywhere. There's no reason why them other ones shouldn't be getting hammered. I said, pull that one in and put a brand new one on it. It wasn't out 2 minutes, and it was getting smoked just like the other. And we kept catching fish. I was like, I just can't understand that. That's just crazy. I mean, but like, it was both of them were white. One of them was just brand new, and one of them was just barely. You know how they'll get that smoky gray color after a while.
So I'll lead you a little secret. I know a lot of folks aren't watching here.
Yeah.
You know, I do a lot of A-rig fishing, as you know, and I'm a firm. You know, come tournament time, I do change my A-rigs out to all brand new ones. The reason why is because, let's say one A-rig may catch a lot of fish. You may catch a catfish, something, but I feel like an A-rig will kind of sort of it loses shelf life. Meaning, if something, it might warp. You know, you get the little bend in one of the arms, and now it puts out a different vibration. Or instead of it running straight, it does this underwater because the arms aren't balanced properly. Does that make sense, man?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think ultraviolet light breaks down the little white swim bodies too. Even though you can't see it, it looks different to the fish or something. Because I was seeing it clearly.
I'm gonna tell you one other thing that I do, and I'm extremely religious with this everywhere I go. When I tow my boat back and forth, I make sure I lay my rods on the floor of the back of the truck, because when you put it in the boat, and I think we discussed it before. Yeah. When you put it in the boat and you tow it back and forth home, all your rubbers that are on your hooks collect grime on there.
Oh yeah, well I don't leave mine attached to the rods. I've got those cases I put all mine in without. I don't refold them. I mean, one case will hold 4 A-rigs in a spread ready to go configuration.
Yeah, a lot of folks will tow their rods or anything in the truck back and forth, but if you look at 1 hour tow, you'll see brown shit all over all your rubber lures and
and it's a lot of trouble, but I put the guards back on all my rods too. I don't go anywhere without my rods covered, especially my catch fever rods.
Gotcha.
Is that a punch?
No, I love my catch fever rods. I don't want them getting beat up. Now you talking about yours is all beat all the crap, I think.
Yeah, I got a post put on Facebook about 6 months ago about how I carry my shit.
Oh, I didn't see it.
The chain game post.
Yeah. But no, I agree.
I caught Lee red-handed one day, but
I did. That's a rough day. But I agree. Like, whether I'm guiding or whether I'm fishing for fun, like when I start over, it's a new day. I replace my baits.
Yeah. And it's no rhyme or reason. I've seen days when colors don't even matter, and I've seen days where minute, like the smallest little differences you could imagine that you almost can't humanly decipher, makes a difference. Or
100%. Biggest hybrid I've ever caught on. The biggest hybrid I ever caught on Norman. I was pulling a trolling weight, a 2-ounce trolling weight, with about a 5'4" carbon leader and an ice fly. Caught him right in front of the state park, and that fish probably went 6.5, 7 pounds.
What was you gonna say, Peter?
I was about to say, talking about the minute differences, what that falls back on is the fact that these Lake Norman fish are bougie as hell. It's a high maintenance.
Yeah. Oh, look at that bling. Look at that bling. Oh, that right there.
Yeah, that's right. That's $5 stuff right there. I want that. Yep.
There ain't no doubt. I mean, you can burn their ass one day. It doesn't matter what the hell you throw. And the next day, you got to
like,
be
so
in there.
running back to back guide trips sometimes. There's two. One thing that I've learned over the years is don't say nothing to your clients to set high expectations. Perfect example we're talking about here is we burn them up 2 straight days at one location, do good. I don't tell my clients next day, oh, we're going to wear their asses out because of this and that. Because I can't tell you how many times I go back on day 3 and man, it's a damn tough bite. They're there, but they're not biting. So, yeah, it's crazy how one day makes a difference.
I call it the rule of thirds. If you go 2 days and it sucks, the third day stands a really good chance of being good. But if you go 2 days back to back and it's awesome, day 3 is probably not going to be great.
Right.
Sounds about right. Yep.
Well, man.
Well, cool. Oh, we better wrap it up. We good to go?
Yeah, I reckon. Good to see y'all again. I'm sorry I've been ghosting you for so long.
It's all good, man. We enjoy seeing the barbecue pictures, and we expect to see something.
That new smoker I built, man, is on fire, man.
That thing is cool as hell.
Yeah.
Dude. I cooked a bunch of chicken tenderloin tonight, coated them in barbecue sauce, and tossed some honey rib rub or something on it, and threw them on.
Talking like dang Chef Ramsay here.
It was good, man. Golly. See, I can cook like that and still eat keto, though. I mean, I use the what is it? What's the sugar-free barbecue sauce? You probably know. It starts with a G something.
Sweet Baby, no.
That ain't sugar-free. Sweet Baby Ray's ain't sugar-free.
That does sound
GQ
like
or something. GQ's. G Hughes. G Hughes is sugar-free, Peter, if you ever need some. It's good.
Gotcha.
Barbecue sauce.
Cool.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we'll look out for the post here later on or tomorrow morning, I guess, and we'll go from there.
Right. Yep. Sounds good.
All right. See you.
Where did the balloons come from?
A filter. He's got a filter on this little phone, I guess, right?
All right. See you. Love you, boys.
All right, man. Take care, guys. See you.
See you.